Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Carol joining us. Hi, Carol.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys. So Carol's got a really exciting success story about how to turn around a relationship that, say, went bad and you haven't had contact for a long time. So we've got a success story about this. And then, of course, we'll give some tips on how you can create it in your life. So welcome, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So this is a personal story, actually. This is something that it happened to me with a friend, one of my closest friends from elementary school all the way through high school, college. We were friends for over 20 years. And when we were in college, I introduced her to one of my closest friends, and they ended up falling in love, and they started dating. But for some reason, she kind of started to get a little bit jealous of our friendship and my friendship with him, and it was a lot of kind of rejection at first, and then all of a sudden she just decided to stop talking to me, and she kind of like dragged him along with it as well, and she was just respecting her desires. So I ended up losing both friends at the time, and it was a really painful thing for me to deal with because we have been friends for so long. And I couldn't understand why, because of course I didn't have any type of intention. I had the best intentions at heart. And anyhow, after a little bit over 10 years, we were, with this whole pandemic, we were doing a Zoom birthday party with friends, and we have a lot of friends in common. And somebody brought her up, and because we were friends for so long, they were asking me like, hey, do you know about her? And I was like, nope, I know nothing. I mean, I haven't heard from her in years. Nobody has heard from her in years. So that's when I decided to listen. I can definitely manifest this person back into my life, and I can definitely manifest contact. But I did have a block to work through because it's been such a long time in between. So I had to work through that. I wrote it down, and I had this belief like it's been so long, of course. And I had the story about what had happened in the past too. So I did a little scripting and started working on our friendship, that she values me, that she values our friendship. She's missing me, or, she wants to know how I'm doing. She's curious. I also said, like, she probably saw something that reminded her of me, and she just like kind of got the urge to call me or to contact me. I did this for like a few weeks every time. And then I just suddenly one day I get this request on Instagram from like a business, health business, food business, and I just accepted it, and I followed it back, and then all of a sudden I get a message, and it was her. And of course,
Oh,
yes. And I had no idea because she was like, I couldn't even find her on social media anyways, because she wasn't using her actual name. She has her own business, so she uses her business. So we started talking, we exchanged phone numbers, then we started texting. And even throughout the text, she's like, I've been wondering how you've been doing this whole time. I am so happy. I heard that you have a daughter. Send me pictures. And she sent me pictures of her kids. She's still with my friend, and she told him that she was talking to me, and he said hi. And it was just like, yes, we talked about what happened. She even apologized. But it was just like we picked it up, and she's like, I am so sorry. Like, I was just immature. I don't know what I was thinking. I know that, you've been such a good friend. You had the best intentions at heart. And that is one of the things that I affirm. Like, she knows my heart. She knows me. She knows the true me. And yes, we haven't spoken since then. It was like last week. But I am super happy. I got super excited. I looked at that message, and when I saw her name, I couldn't believe it at first. I started crying. I'm like, this can't be her. But it was. And then there you go. I manifested her after 10 years.
awesome. And I think it's so important to recognize that, like you were saying earlier before we started recording, is that sometimes we worry that it's been too long and that's a block, but it's not. I mean, I can look at time going, okay, well, it's been long enough. They've totally forgotten and forgiven me, forgiven me for
Exactly.
whatever, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because there's no such thing as time in the universe. It's just the only thing that there is. It's the present. It's your reality. Whatever is in here. This is where your reality lives. This is where they live, and this is the true. This is where this is where the magic happens. And I was just thinking about that. And I used a different process this time, I guess, because I really needed to convince myself. And I just kind of went in there and I was like, okay, she lives here. She's not out there wherever she is. She's here. And I am going to decide that she is thinking about me, that she is contacting me, that she is wondering how I'm doing. And she just has to kind of reflect that back to me by law. So time doesn't even matter. It does not exist. It's just perception. My reality has to conform to the assumption that I have up here about this particular relationship. And it literally took me 3 weeks.
Wow. Wow. That's not
Yes.
long at all.
No.
It's they're long. So I think it was like one of my very, very first boyfriends, like we're talking like 20 years ago. Anyways, he's on my Facebook, and the other day somebody mentioned, Andrew mentioned his name, but like he didn't know, wasn't referring to the guy I know, but he just said the guy's name because he would just happen to say his name. And then I immediately thought of my ex-boyfriend, and then guess who Facebook messaged me the next
Of course. It
you
has
know
to.
it has to. So it doesn't matter how long it's been, eh, they'll find you. You know what, even if it's been 20 years, you'll be walking through the say your town, and all of a sudden they'll be there, right? Like somehow, the whole universe will conspire to make your intention come
Yes.
through. Yeah.
And even yourself, like think about yourself for a second. How many times have you been driving through a place, or you smell a perfume, or you hear a song that reminds you of someone, and you just pick up the phone and call them? It is that
Yeah.
easy. It's just literally creating that story. Like, nope, this person, something makes them think of me, and they haven't been able to stop thinking about me since then, and they contact me right now. They're calling me, they're thinking about me. And it's like persisting on that story. And another thing that helped me a lot, that I actually had to write it down because I had a particular block about this situation, was okay, so if I don't focus on what I want, what am I left with? Well, the crap that
Mm.
created all this in the first place. I don't want that. So
Right.
I need to continue
Yeah.
focusing on what I want, because that's what's going to get me what I want. That's the only thing and I had to go back in like, nope, she's here. This is where she's real. This is where she's real. She's in here. And I just had to continue reminding myself of that. And it really helped me believe. It helped me stay on track. And again, I don't think I 3 weeks is I it was 3 weeks from the birthday party to the day that I manifested it, but it felt like a day. It felt like
Right.
even faster
Right.
than 3 weeks.
Oh, I know, totally, right? Like it happens like that, the when you manifest things, right? It goes really fast when you've got zero resistance. But I guess part of it, what you're saying for your block, was you had to revise. So, a lot of the times, right, when you say are manifesting somebody back that you've got a history with and that you haven't seen for a long time, you may want to revise the reason why you stopped talking, right? Because, you don't want any sort of barrier resistance there. So, my famous one is, oh, well, you know what, I drift apart, and then you know what, we just pick up where we left off. And
Oh, I
that's what
love
I've
that.
always said throughout my whole entire life with all my friends, right? So it's never a weird, awkward situation. It's like, now what do we say?
Yes.
Right?
And it's
Yeah.
funny you say that, because I'm pretty sure that you have friends that you've never had a fallout, but you still don't speak for years. And when you see each other, you pick up where you left off. So why should they be any different?
Well, exactly, exactly. And that's the one thing, right? Is we all know life happens, and we get busy with the people and the relationships, and the family, and sometimes, friends grow apart and you have different, interests and whatnot. But that doesn't mean that there has to be anything wrong with that, to create that's okay. And then, you know what, as soon as you guys talk again, then it's like nothing ever, like you never even missed a day.
That's exactly what happened. We had the longest
Yeah.
conversation. We exchanged pictures. She told me about her business. I told her what I'm doing. We were so happy for each other. Yes, I had to, like you said, I had to revise a lot,
Yeah.
because of course I was very hurt. So I had to hold myself accountable. At the back then, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that I was manifesting all this. Now I know.
Right.
So I held myself. I manifested. I am completely responsible for this. I got this. I choose how I experience her. I choose how I experience this friendship. I choose how I experience my own reality. So it's about bringing it in every time. And it
Mhm.
really helped me stay focused with
Yeah.
this particular thing that I had like a really big block on that. And I am so proud of myself because
That is so cool.
yes, because I feel like I can manifest so many things and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's been 10 years. Why would she? But I have to practice what I preach, because there's something that comes up with the clients too. It's been so long.
Right.
Why would they text me? And here I am because you're the goddess of your reality. So wait a minute, I have to practice. I have to practice what I preach.
Right.
I have
Well,
to do it too.
exactly. Well, and it's great because we're constantly creating. So it's just to recognize it and then to start consciously doing it in areas of your life that you may want to improve and with relationships that you may want to improve. And and you nailed it. It's about taking responsibility for anything that happens. And to get that apology, you have to shift into being apologetic. And once you shift into letting go of the past, being apologetic, then they're going to show up apologizing. If we're emotionally attached to getting the apology, then we're not going to get it because we're holding the anger, the resentment. So, and yet we're intending for an apology. And then the universe is like, okay, more things that are going to make you angry, more things that are going to make you resentful, because that's what we're resisting, right? Where we've got to accept it, right? And just because we accept it doesn't mean we have to like it or leave it like that.
Yeah.
We create and renounce it and create what we do want instead, right?
Yeah. And one of the things that helps me a lot with the apologies as well, and even in my relationship, is like,
Mhm.
what would be the aftermath of that apology? Like, if I were to get the apology, what would our relationship look like? What would I feel? And then that's
Yeah,
exactly what I intend. I intend what
exactly.
the apology would feel like, what the aftermath of the apology, how a relationship would change when I get the apology. And I go straight to that.
Exactly, exactly. You've got to go to the end as if it's already happened, and then that's going to create the space for it to actually happen because everyone's you pushed out.
Exactly. The whole world.
Oh, so amazing, so amazing. So guys, if it comes to manifesting somebody back, time doesn't matter. Revise any past history, get clear on what you want, and keep focusing on it showing up. And yes, you know what? If you do have any thoughts like it's been too long, you have to counter them with your mental diet and say, no, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen now, etc., etc. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And guys, if you are looking for any coaching, the link is in the description below. And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.